What do we know, everybody? On this fun little episode of Turner Ranches with Jim, I'm going to take you along with me as I do a partial service on our International feed truck. It is a 2005 International 4300 with the DT466. It's got a harsh box on the back of it. And this truck is, like a lot of the other feed trucks, it's towed. It's got issues. It's got compression issues. It's got blow-by. It's got a myriad of different things going on with it. But it's a feed truck. You run these till they drop. It's not like it's an over-the-road truck or a box truck. But I say partial service because we don't have the fuel filter yet. I called in, I got the filter numbers, ordered everything, and International gave me the wrong number for the fuel filter. It was number for the drain. So I gotta wait a few days for the fuel filter to show up. But we're gonna go ahead and get everything taken care of here as far as the oil goes, the filters, air filters, coolant, greasing, different things like that. And I'll take you along for the ride. So you can see all the oil under here, looking at the oil pan here. You look back there, oil filter is supposed to be white. It is just a mess. Clean it off as good as you can, but there is only so much you can do. It keeps coming back. Yeah, I got our drain pan underneath of here. We just gotta get this drain plug loose. See if that'll do it. There we go. Now we'll keep an eye on this. Alright, we've got the oil draining. And I think this holds I think this truck's supposed to hold 7 or 7.5 gallons. I'm not 100% sure which, but this little container here should hold 7. If we need more, I got a 5-gallon bucket I can dump this in, and we'll just kind of go from there. There you can see she's kind of dwindling a little bit, so I'm guessing we're going to get about 6.5 or 6 3/4 gallons out of here, which is good. It's kind of about what I expected. So I'll let this continue to drain like this, and I'm going to go start on the filter. There you can kind of see the filter. It is a big bugger. I got a bucket up under here to help me out catch it, or catch the oil coming off of it. Let's see if I can get a good enough bite with these pliers to pull it loose. There we go. There. Yeah, they do got a black filter on here, covered in grease, but it is a black filter. There we go. Let that drip in our bucket. I'm gonna change my gloves, clean up a little bit, and then we'll start getting everything cleaned up, put oil in. All right, got cleaned up. Always expect to get a little dirty, but you always hate when it happens, don't you? But now, we're gonna let that drain out just a little bit, drain out the filter housing and drain out of the drain hole. And then we'll clean up the drain plug and around there and get everything put back in. And we'll get the filter housing cleaned up, get the filter put on. And we got some Lucas. And there's a love-hate relationship with Lucas. Some guys love it, some guys hate it. My brother's one that hates it, and his reasoning is good. When it gets cold, it thickens up. But in our case, where we have the compression issue, the Lucas is theoretically going to help with compression. So that's why we're going to put it in. We're going to put some good diesel oil in there too. And hopefully that'll help us as we get closer to winter time. I mean, it doesn't make much of a difference right now because it's 80-something degrees right now. It was 106 yesterday. But the point still remains. Get some Lucas in there, thicken it up, should help with compression, blow by, and we'll kind of see what goes on from there. But I think now that stopped dripping so much, I'm going to get some things cleaned up and we'll go from there. All right, first thing we're going to clean up is our drain plug. Always want to make sure it's free from any bit of dirt, grease, debris. And then I also check the end of this because it's magnetized. Make sure I get no steel in there, which we're good. Our little gasket in there, little seal is still good. But now we'll go up under the front and I'm going to clean off on the pan around this, where this goes. And then we're going to seat it back in there. All right, so we're just going to go right around where that goes, right where it seats in. We're going to make sure it's free from all kinds of grease and dirt, mud, manure, whatever's in there. And then we'll go ahead, thread this in, make sure we can thread it in by hand. Give you a little bit of a different view because my stand keeps screwing everything up. But after you get this tightened by hand, you go ahead and put your wrench on it, get everything cinched down, and then you can move back to the filter. Then you also want to be careful that you don't over tighten that drain plug because you can strip them out pretty easily. But now let's get under there and clean the filter housing up. Now you can see our filter housing is up there by the exhaust. I got a cross member right over here in the way to go in from this side. You can see it up in there. But we got to clean all around that. Make sure we got no dirt or debris that's going to get in the way of that oil filter sealing up. And we also don't want to plug it. So we'll get up there with the rag, wipe everything down and around there, get it as clean as we want it. And then we'll go ahead and get the filter. Now this filter is a little different than some, because I got a couple of different gaskets in here, seals. I got the one up here, and then I got the one inside. So I'm going to make sure that I oil both of them up before I put it in there, and I'm also going to fill just a little bit of oil in here. And then we'll go ahead, get up under there, put it up on the housing without getting any dirt or grease or anything in it, and then thread the bugger on. Hopefully, everything goes as planned. So to do this, I'll take some oil. I'm going to fill that maybe a quarter to halfway up. I'll take the oil I dripped down the side, the oil I got inside here, and I'm just going to go around this rubber pieces. That way everything can move freely when it gets up there, and it won't bind. It'll help this seal. And like I say, you don't need much in the filter. It's going to have oil in the engine already, so you're not worried about dry starting it. But this is just an easy way to get these things lubed up. Okay, we've got the filter on. Hand tight only. I was trying to show you guys that there's just no place to get this phone in there without my stand, and my stand keeps turning the video off. So now we got everything in there, everything tight. We're going to pull the drain fill cap off, and we're going to go ahead and put oil in. Like I said, I think this takes between 7 and 7.5 gallons. So we're going to start with about 7, see where we're at, and go from there. But the first thing we're going to put in is Lucas. So let's get that in and see where we're at from there. All right, you can see we got our drain fill cap out, got our funnel in, made sure it's clean. We start with the Lucas. You see a lot of people don't like it because of how thick it is, and you can see how thick this stuff is. But it's going to help with our compression. That's why we're doing it. But we'll start out with this, a gallon. Then we got 2.5 gallon jugs, which bring us to 6, and then 1 more gallon. And after we get to our 7th, get our 7 gallons in there, Then we'll go ahead and fire it up, let it run a little bit, and check the dipstick and add what we need accordingly. But like I say, a lot of people have a love-hate relationship with this stuff. But it's going to work in this situation. It don't work in every situation, but it's going to work in this one. Okay, we just ran it. After getting it filled, pulled the dipstick out, and we are at the full line, which is what we want to be. And it'll go down a little bit here as it sits. But now that we got the oil done, let's go over and replace that air filter. I blew it out last week and it was nasty. We'll see how this is. So your air filter is in this guy right here. And it's actually a fairly simple concept. You just twist it a little bit to the left and that cap falls out. And here's your filter. And it has seen many better days. We got a new one right here. You can see the new guy looks much better. Much better. We'll just slide it in on a little tube up here, and then we'll twist our cap back on, and everything will be good to go. I'll take you back over here for a little bit. This guy right here is where the fuel filter is. I'm waiting on that. But we checked the fluids in this and the power steering. Need to add some coolant, not a big deal. Then we need to grease everything. Grease everything on the steering arm. Grease everything down here on all the components. And then we'll get underneath and we'll grease everything on the U-joints, all the drive line. And then we'll also grease the box, because that is the part that takes the most wear and tear on this unit. Fairly simple. Filter's in a bad spot, but it's not that bad. So I don't know how this video is going to turn out, because everything kept stopping on me when I was trying to take videos. So hopefully it turns out and everything will be just peachy and you guys get some level of entertainment out of it, because I do enjoy making these things. And if it don't, then you guys will never see it. And maybe part of it turned out and I still decided to put it out anyway, in which case, thank you guys for watching it. But anyway, guys, I'm going to get everything cleaned up, closed up, get the oil put where it needs to be, and then we'll go from there and finish out the rest of this hot day. But as always, guys, I thank you all for watching.